Before diving into the list of things you shouldn't buy at Costco, it is crucial to understand one key thing. Costco employees see the entire shopping picture every day. They don't just witness smart decisions, they also clearly see the mistakes that cause customers to quietly lose money. Remarkably, the mistakes usually don't come from expensive items, but from those that look like a steal, are familiar to the eye, and get tossed into the cart out of reflex. Costco is designed to create a feeling of savings, but that very sense of security can hide waste that lasts for years. Just by avoiding one specific item, you could save hundreds or even thousands of dollars. You'd be awesome if you liked this video.
Wow!
1. Bulk condiments. Those giant containers of ketchup, mayo, or mustard at Costco always feel satisfying to buy. The price is low, the volume is huge, and it feels like you won't have to shop again for a long time. But that peace of mind is actually where the waste begins. Condiments are not immortal. Even with proper storage, their quality drops over time. Oils separate, textures change, and flavors fade. That smooth ketchup starts to get watery, and mayo loses its richness and freshness. This happens so slowly that many people keep using them without realizing the flavor is gone. The bigger issue is the speed of use. Most families simply don't eat enough to finish a massive jar before it expires or becomes unappetizing. It's a common story. You clean out the fridge only to toss half a jar away. At that point, your savings have disappeared. Costco employees see this scenario play out every day. Bulk condiments are bought with good intentions, but usually end up forgotten in the back of the fridge. They don't just waste money, they take up valuable space, making your fridge feel cluttered and hard to manage. The smarter choice is often counterintuitive. Medium or small condiments are easier to finish while they still taste best. You pay a little more per ounce, but in exchange, you get consistent quality and zero waste. Real savings aren't about buying the most. They're about using everything you buy while it's still good. 2. Cheap lamps and lighting fixtures. When standing in the lighting aisle, many people assume a light is just a light. A lamp that looks decent, comes at a low price, and is sold in a multi-pack seems like a no-brainer. However, according to Costco staff, these are some of the most frequently returned items. The problem isn't usually the bulb, it's the components inside. To keep prices low, budget fixtures often use cheap parts, thin wiring, basic circuit boards, and poor heat sinks. This leads to flickering lights, dimming over time, and products that die young before you've actually saved any money. Buyers usually notice this after a few months. A bulb burns out early, one room is bright, while another is dim. You start wasting time replacing bulbs or checking switches when the problem is the fixture itself. These small costs and frustrations add up, making that bargain light a very expensive headache. Even worse are the safety concerns. Cheap lights often generate excessive heat, which shortens the lifespan of the device and can even pose a fire risk if installed poorly. A small saving is not worth a large risk. Lighting is a foundation of your home, not just a decoration. Investing in a reputable brand means buying stability and long-term energy efficiency. The true value isn't found at the checkout counter. It's found over the life of the product when you never have to think about it, because it just works. 3. Bulk dinnerware and glassware sets. The feeling of getting a steal when standing in front of huge dining sets is hard to deny. A package price for dozens of identical plates and bowls creates a false sense of security. You believe you have stocked up enough for all your needs for years to come. However, life is not a dream. This excess in quantity and monotony in style is often the beginning of a story full of inconveniences that few foresee. The biggest weakness of bulk sets lies in the material quality. To keep the price attractive, many sets are produced with thinner glass, thinner glaze, and low impact resistance. Initially, everything looks fine. But after a few months of dishwasher use, stacking, and frequent moving, small chips begin to appear. Glasses crack at the bottom, ceramic plates chip at the edges, and if just one piece breaks, the whole set starts to lose its uniformity. At this point, the buyer falls into a difficult position. It is not easy to buy a single replacement of the exact same model. Replacing just a few pieces is almost impossible. The result is that you have to continue using chipped items or accept throwing away more than necessary, not to mention the storage issue. Most families do not regularly use dozens of glasses or plates at the same time. They sit silently in the cupboard, taking up space, making kitchen organization cramped and inflexible. Large packages often end their life cycle by being returned or thrown in a corner. Change your mindset. Invest in small, durable, beautiful, and practical sets. This approach helps you avoid wasting space and money and makes it easy to handle occasional breakages. Remember, an item is only truly cheap when it is useful and worth keeping, not because it has many twin brothers in the same box. 4. Cheap cookware sets. The shiny appearance and variety in a Costco cookware set can create the illusion of a smart investment. It's easy to buy the whole box and think your kitchen is fully equipped. But this convenience often hides a major lack of quality. You think you're getting a lot of tools, but you're actually getting products that have been stripped of their performance to meet a low price. Most budget sets are made of thin materials with light bottoms. They have poor heat distribution. While cooking, you'll find hot spots where food burns in one area but stays raw in another. This makes cooking frustrating and time-consuming. The nonstick coating is usually the first thing to fail. It starts smooth, but after a few months, it scratches and peels. Food begins to stick, you have to use more oil, and cleaning becomes a chore. Once that coating is damaged, the pan is essentially useless. The reality is that different pieces in a set wear out at different speeds. You might end up with a ruined frying pan, but a perfectly fine stock pot, making the original set strategy a failure. Instead of saving money, you'll end up buying individual replacements anyway. The better path? Buy individual high-quality pieces. One great skillet and one heavy-duty pot will outperform a dozen cheap ones and last for years. True savings come from performance, not the number of items on your shelf. 5. Fast assembly furniture. The strongest selling point of Costco furniture is the feeling of instant gratification. Trendy designs, eye-catching colors, and pleasant prices make buyers think they just grabbed a bargain for their modern apartment. The appeal of buying fast and using immediately is strong, but the honeymoon with these items is usually short, and the quality story behind them is much less happy. The core of the issue lies in the materials. To keep prices low and make shipping easy, most of this furniture is made from particle board or MDF. They may look fine when first assembled, but their load-bearing capacity and long-term durability are very limited. After a period of use, shelves start to sag, desks wobble, cabinet doors warp. These signs of degradation do not appear immediately, but accumulate gradually, making users realize it only when it is too late. Moving makes the flaws even more obvious. Just disassembling and reassembling it once means the structure is no longer as solid as before. Screws get loose, screw holes stretch out, joints weaken noticeably. For many families, this means the item only lives fully in exactly one spot and is almost impossible to reuse when moving houses or rearranging the space. Furniture of this type is often returned in a partially damaged state, with no value for repair. At that point, the initial cheap price becomes the cost of replacing it sooner than expected. A more sustainable choice is to invest in furniture with a solid structure and good materials, even if the price is higher at the time of purchase. An item that can be used for many years and withstand space changes is always cheaper than buying replacements multiple times. Convenience only truly makes sense when it doesn't lead to constant replacement. Like the video if this surprised you. 6. Mattresses from unknown brands. Don't let the temporary comfort at the showroom deceive your body. Cheap mattresses from lesser-known brands are very good at creating a good initial impression. Soft, bouncy, and easily making buyers think they found a deal. But according to Costco employees, this is the group with the highest rate of disillusionment because that comfort quickly disappears after a short time of use. Most cheap mattresses use low-density foam to cut costs. When new, this foam layer feels soft and provides good support. But after just a few months, or even a few weeks, the material begins to collapse and lose elasticity. Indentations appear exactly where the body usually lies, causing the mattress surface to be uneven and spinal support to decline significantly. The consequence is not just a feeling of poor sleep, mild back pain, stiff neck in the morning, fitful sleep. Many people only realize the problem when these symptoms persist, but by then, the mattress is no longer eligible for return. Some lesser-known brands do not have clear trial policies, have short warranties, or are difficult to deal with, leaving buyers almost stuck with their choice. Rapid degradation after just a few months of use is the price you pay for cutting costs in the wrong place. Don't turn your back into a test subject for low-quality products. Instead, put your trust in the right place with reputable names, where quality is committed by clear after-sales policies. Buying once and using it durably for many years is still exponentially more economical than buying cheap only to get stuck in a cycle of breakage and replacement. 7. Plastic kitchen utensils. Sets of plastic kitchen utensils at Costco always look very attractive. High quantity, eye-catching colors, pleasant prices. They create the feeling that buying once is enough for all daily cooking needs. But that very convenience hides a series of problems that Costco employees have seen repeated over and over through returns. The biggest weakness of plastic utensils lies in their heat resistance. In a real cooking environment, high temperatures are unavoidable. When in direct contact with a hot pan or boiling pot, many plastic tools begin to warp, soften, or even melt and deform. After a few uses, spoon edges chip and handles weaken, making cooking operations unsafe and inaccurate. When plastic is heated beyond its heat limit, the risk of chemical leaching into food is something that makes many people start to worry. This is not something that can be seen immediately with the naked eye, but it is a silent risk accompanying every meal. Besides, plastic utensils easily scratch the surface of pots and pans, especially non-stick coatings, causing other items in the kitchen to degrade faster. Instead of wasting money on non-durable plastic, switch to silicone or stainless steel. These are the two kings in the kitchen. Silicone withstands high temperatures without degrading, while stainless steel possesses an almost eternal lifespan. The higher initial price is actually a disguised saving because you buy once and use for a lifetime. The peace of mind and stable performance they bring are the core values that every wise homemaker aims for. 8. Cheap kitchen knives. Cheap kitchen knife sets at Costco are often designed to feel like an excessive bargain. Big block, many pieces, attractive appearance, and a price much lower than buying individual knives. For many, this is a quick decision. Buy once and be done. But that very convenience silently brings many troubles during use. The core weakness lies not in the initial sharpness, but in the material. The blades are usually made from soft steel or low-grade alloy, which lose their cutting edge quickly and are hard to keep sharp. When a knife starts to get dull, the user is forced to increase hand pressure, reducing control and increasing the risk of slipping or cutting incorrectly. In reality, a dull knife is more dangerous than a sharp one. From an operational perspective, Costco employees frequently receive knife sets returned due to repeated faults, chipped blades, loose handles, and poor balance. Even when resharpened, poor quality steel does not hold an edge for long, leaving users in a vicious cycle, accepting unpleasant and unsafe cooking, or soon spending money on a new set. There is also structural waste. Most families only regularly use one or two basic types of knives, while the rest almost sit still in the drawer. High quantity does not equal high efficiency, and actual usage value is often lower than expected. A more reasonable approach is selective investment. A well-made chef's knife with standard balance and high-quality steel, if maintained correctly, can be used for many years. It brings precision, safety, and superior control. In the kitchen, the less is more strategy is always more effective than owning many non-durable items. 9. Cheap heavy-duty storage shelves. Storage shelf sets labeled heavy-duty at Costco often make a very convincing initial impression. Bulky metal frames, wide dimensions, and prices much more pleasant than specialized industrial shelving. For the need to organize heavy items in the garage or basement, this seems like a reasonable choice. However, real-world experience shows that high load capacity does not always mean corresponding durability. The problem usually doesn't appear immediately, but reveals itself over time. Many models use thinner steel than standard, combined with plywood or composite materials with only minimal moisture treatment. In environments with fluctuating humidity, shelf surfaces easily sag. Frames begin to deform slightly, and joints gradually lose rigidity. The most dangerous part is the false sense of security. Users believe the shelf is strong enough to carry tools, food reserves, or valuable items, but just one weak point in the structure or uneven load distribution can cause the shelf to wobble, tilt, or collapse level by level. Cases of returns because shelves became unstable and damaged belongings are not rare at all. In the long run, the lifespan makes the cheap price equation less attractive. A set of shelves that has to be replaced after a few years has a higher actual cost than investing immediately in standard industrial steel shelving, which is designed to bear continuous loads and keep its shape stable for many years. Effective storage is not just about utilizing space, but also about protecting assets and having peace of mind every time you place more items on the shelf. 10. Cheap office chairs. Low-priced office chair models at Costco often score points very quickly when first tested. Plump appearance, thick soft cushions, and full armrests and backrests. Compared to the price, many believe this is a reasonable solution for a home workspace or small office. However, this initial comfort is only temporary and does not reflect long-term usage quality. The core limitation lies in the design philosophy. The lower back support is often placed incorrectly or is too shallow, not fitting the spinal structure. The seat cushion uses low-density foam, so it flattens quickly, losing elasticity under continuous load. When the cushion layer no longer provides support, the body is forced to adjust to a forced posture, leading to shoulder fatigue, neck strain, and accumulated back pain over time. Regarding actual use, negative feedback repeats quite similarly. Less than a year in, many chairs start to squeak, armrests get loose, or the chair cylinder loses balance. When mechanical details degrade, the feeling of stability almost disappears. Users face two choices: accept the discomfort or replace the chair with a new one and realize the initial savings no longer have meaning. What is often underestimated is the intensity of use. An office chair is where many people sit for hours every day, repeating for many years. Trading support for a low price is essentially transferring the cost from your wallet to your long-term health. Choose a chair designed with proper ergonomics, durable materials, and a stable structure. Even if the initial cost is higher, this is an investment for years of comfortable work. In terms of productivity, focus, and spinal health, this choice saves much more than constantly replacing chairs and enduring avoidable pain. Costco is not a place where everything is a win. Those items that look cheap, abundant, and convenient can sometimes be the cause of your budget silently leaking over the years. The most important lesson is not to avoid Costco, but to choose intentionally. Buying less, buying better quality, and using according to your needs is always more economical than buying a lot and wasting it. When you understand the true nature of each item, you are not just shopping smarter, but also preserving money, time, and peace of mind for the long term. Which tip from the video surprised you the most?